obligation and the command and the communal obligation. That the conveying of knowledge to people is a communal. So there's fard kifaya, fard ayn. Fard ayn, everybody has to do. 5 times salat is fard ayn, nobody's excused from it. Right? Each one of us has to do it. Janaza is fard kifaya. Some people do it, the obligation is lifted from the rest of the community. The fard is fulfilled. Enough people need to do it, so the obligation is fulfilled. If fard kifaya is done, no one's doing itikaf, the whole community is in guna, in sin. One person does it, the sunnah the itikaf is sunnah al-kifaya. So if a person a janazah is done, if nobody is there to do salat janazah, the whole city, the whole town is now in guna. So fard kifaya is like not everyone has to do it. So is spreading knowledge, everybody has to do it, or some people is enough in each community to do it. So then the obligatory fard is of 2 kinds: individual obligation and communal. Communal is kifaya, that is spread amongst the community. The personal obligation, fard ayn, individual obligation, is that which is specifically incumbent on every individual to fulfill, such as the pillars of the religion, arkan ad-din. How much knowledge you need to know is fard, that which you can fulfill your fard. That each person has to know. If salat is fard on you, which it is, then it's fard on you to learn salat properly from beginning to end. My father, rahmatullah, was telling me that in Karachi there was a policeman. So I think the license, if you get the license, you get it from the police station. Is that still the case? When in his time, you get the license from the police station, right? So, but the guy in the police station, the head of the station, he was a musalli, he used to pray salat. So he would not give the license until you've learned your whole namaz, your salat from beginning till end, including dua qunut. Everything you have to learn from beginning till end, learn everything, then you get your license. So imagine you go to Vic Roads and the guy there is not going to give you a license. Because you haven't learned your salat yet. So, but he's imposing something which is fard on you individually, each one of us. So this fard, it's not a group. If he does salat, my mother's doing namaz, my father's doing namaz. No, it's fard on me. Especially with the younger people. I'm talking about younger. You're all old, but I'm talking about like the ones that are teenagers. So as soon as they become baligh, which is about 13, 14 on average, it is fard on them. It's not parents' job anymore. Now the obligation is lifted from the parents, and if the parents have taught them that fard obligation, although in the school system we treat them like children till 18, but if they're baligh, they're 12, 13, 14, 15 is maximum, and 15 according to Hijri years, the maximum the baligh time can come is, according to the fiqh books, is 14 years and 7 months approximately. After that, you're automatically baligh, you're an adult. You should have the intelligence to fulfill your fard obligation. The salat is fard on you, not on your parents. That's your obligation. Zakat is your obligation. Right? So, and the communal obligation is that which is absolved from the rest of the community when some discharge it, some fulfill that, the fard kifaya. Since objective is achieved, but if people collectively abandon it, then to participate together in sinning. So they're all now, like jihad, for its objective is making supreme the word of Allah Ta'ala and the empowering of the religion, the izzat of deen, and ala kalimatillah. When this objective is achieved by some Muslim, then the obligation is absolved from the rest of them. If your city is attacked by the enemies of deen, right, then in the fiqh book mentioned, can a wife disobey her husband? Under normal circumstances, she cannot. To go defend the city. She can. In those extreme she's that obligation that's a bigger obligation to fulfill. Else Muslims are going to lose their lives. As I'm giving an extreme example, but if some do it and the rest, then it's fard ayn, not fard kifaya. But if all of them remained unreceptive to jihad until the unbelievers conquered some seaports, he's saying seaport thought is actually access points into the Muslim lands. Right? Meaning that they breached the borders of the Muslim lands. The Muslims would share in sinning because no one did it. No Muslim ruler, governor took responsibility and allowed it to happen. We have many, many examples in our history and in the current age as well. Likewise, the washing of the deceased, ghasl al-mayyit, and praying over him, the burial of dafn, all that is a communal obligation. It's a fard kifaya, such that when some carry it out, it is absolved from the rest. But if all of them refrain from it, such that the deceased is left neglected, the dead body is not taken care of properly, kafan is not done properly, ghusl is not done properly, janazah is not done, right? But if all of them refrain from such, then and is left neglected, then among the people, though they know of his situation, then they're all participating in the guna, in the sin. The whole community is sinful. Therefore, the conveyance of knowledge to people is a communal obligation. Passing the knowledge to others is a fard. Not everyone has to do it, but some people need to do it. Such as that when some fulfill it, the rest are absolved from it. Since the objective is achieved, which is the reviving of the noble law, Sharia, and because knowledge is preserved among people through its conveyance by some, such that if they refrain from it, imparting knowledge, until even a part of it is effaced, then they participate collectively in the sin. Just think about that. If some part of knowledge is lost, right? See, I had a class just now with my teacher, Mufti Abdul Wahid from England, right? This class is his time. This is Saturday morning in England's morning time now. There. He's not paid for this time. All the students in the class are iftar, the muftis, right? He's giving his own time to make sure that the knowledge that he has from his teachers is not, some people it's passed to. And if some knowledge of Deen Islam remain in the books and nobody was to teach, and it dies, then the whole ummah is in sin. If that knowledge dies, the knowledge that came from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Other knowledge we can learn to tajrubah and experience, universities, we can do all those things. But the knowledge of wahi, if the understanding of that is lost and it disappears, the book disappears, and that no one teaches that book, or that ilm, or that chapter of knowledge, and then the ummah doesn't even know about it, like the ilm of miras. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam specifically mentioned a hadith about fara'id. Ilm fara'id means ilm of fard or ilm of fara'id miras. That people will travel, a time will come in the future, they will travel one mountain, one valley, and they will look for somebody to answer their question. There is no mufti they can find can answer the masala of miras for them. Knowledge as it can be gained, it can also be lost. But some things can be lost permanently. And if it's effaced, it is lost. This is why I mentioned before, and I'll finish off with this, the Sahabi Mu'az bin Jabal radiallahu anhu, the hadith of if anybody says La ilaha illallah, he'll enter Jannah. He said this when he was dying, although he was told not to tell anybody. You understand? That anybody says La ilaha illallah, he's going to Jannah. But Rasulullah told him not to tell. Why did Mu'az bin Jabal tell? As he's dying, he's scared that if I die, this hadith will die with me. Imagine how difficult of a decision. That Rasulullah told you not to tell anybody. Now you have this knowledge of Rasulullah. If he dies, it disappears from the face of the earth. He has to make a decision. And he weighed up all the pros and cons, and he made the decision to pass the hadith to the ummah, that it doesn't die with him. I mean, this is like, it's a sense of amana, that thing. Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani was reading, we only know Pirani Pir and we know his karamat and all these sort of things and stories and stuff. But Pirani Pir, Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullah alayhi, he said that I want to go into the jungle and disappear, be away from the people. But who's going to teach his hadith? He was a hafiz of hadith, he knew 100,000 hadiths by heart. If I don't teach this, who's going to teach it? I'm forced, I don't want to be here in front of the people. I don't want to do, but if I don't teach it, then, it will die with him. So he has the sense of amana that he couldn't do what he wanted, which is to do ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala away from the people. Right? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding and tawfiq, that we seek the knowledge. The minimum, the fard on each one of us is the fard ayn knowledge, that my 24 hours, what I need for my work life, my family life, for ibadah, my tahara, my daily 24 hours should be in accordance with the sharia. This is fard ayn on each one of us for each one of our lives. If you're a businessman, you are required. Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu said, no one was allowed to come into masjid in Medina Munawwara to trade in the market of Medina Munawwara, do business in Medina Munawwara, until he went to the masjid, learn the masail halal and haram, which transaction, how you can do business, how you cannot do business. He was not allowed to trade in the marketplace in the Muslim land until he knew the masail, the rules of trade and business. Right? If we're a worker, we're an employee for somebody, then I have to know that I have to know the ahkam of Centrelink.